Misgendering in BFDI. Before starting this video, I need to point out several things. 1. This video goes through a topic that is sensitive and easily misunderstood. Please watch the entire video and read the video description before you comment. Any sort of hate comments are not tolerated. 2. This video is a thorough review of Battle for Dream Island, an animation web series made by jacknjellify. I do not own their content. We'll be covering seasons 1, 2 until episode 10, 4, and 5 until episode 10. Some music is provided by Kevin MacLeod. 3. I'm referring to people whose gender is unknown or genderless as they/them pronouns by default. I will get more into this as we go through. 4. This video took so much time to make. For each episode, it took an hour to review, and I spent extra hours checking out the videos and making charts. If you like this work, please like the video and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'm also currently setting up a donation site to support me. When the time comes, I will announce it on my Instagram. That's all there is for me. Now, let's dive in. I saw a stream of Me Cosmos on YouTube, which was a live play of a Smash or Pass game with his fans, and people were voting on which characters from BFDI to smash or not, or in other words, whether or not they like that character. At around 35 minutes, there was a vote for Cake, and I looked closely at the chat replay. There were some interesting comments, including Fanboy, Twink, and She, even though Cake is a he. That made me curious. How many characters are misgendered, and why specific? In this video, I explored the gender problem in the world-famous animation web series, Battle for Dream Island. So, what is misgendering? First, let me clarify something. Sexuality and gender are not exactly the same things, and this is where a whole bunch of confusion stems from. I will explain this in an easy way by considering male and female as categories for people. Sexuality is something that is decided when a baby is born. Who decides? Doctors. They check for any body traits to determine whether a newborn is a boy or a girl. This will never change unless one takes a special surgery. Meanwhile, gender is decided based on a person's personality, characteristics, looks, or more. Who decides? The person themselves. Be aware that gender by itself cannot guarantee a person's pronouns, aka what they want to be referred to as, like he, she, or they. Simply put, and in an academic explanation, sexuality is a biological term, whereas gender is a sociological term. Misgendering is a huge issue for those who care about a lot. What is the problem? A person is called by the wrong pronouns of their choice by another person. Why does this happen? A person may guess or judge a person's gender based on at least one of the following: the clothes and accessories one wears, hairstyle, face, person's height, preferences, etc. These are only the visible features. What about hearing? While Googling for gender problems, I went across a Quora question asking, is it possible to tell if someone is a boy or a girl just by hearing their voice? The top answer responds with yes, sort of. There are various factors in how people determine a person's gender, such as changes in age hormones, cultural effects, vocal practices, and other habits which affect a person, like their moods. Like you cannot judge a book by its cover, you cannot truly judge a person by their looks or even their voice. So, whenever I mention someone who I do not know the gender, I default to they them, and that is the safest way to get around in general. Gender is one of the first settings of a character to be decided by creators. How do they decide? Everyone must be curious, right? No? Whatever. These are only a theory, so take these with a grain of salt and a cup of soy sauce. One theory is by the creator's choice. More specifically, manually balancing genders. Jacknjellify has a video called Origins of BFDI, which was released back in the days of Season 2. This was where the lost media of BFDI and its origin, Total Fiery Paper Comics series, were showcased. Watch closely at this scene where the roster of the first comic season's contestants is shown up. Are you watching the same location as mine? No? Check this lower left corner of the page. Do note that some contestants are not yet present at the time of creation. That aside, there were 7 females and 9 males, and the final roster for BFDI has 10 each. This equality cannot be a coincidence, right? There must have been some talks within the Huang brothers about it. Another theory is that the characters' voice actors can be considered. And it actually is. I only knew this from watching the BFDI Iceberg video by Odyssey 10. This was confirmed by Satomi in the early stage of BFB, which was specifically something involving Cloudy and Melee when voice actors were recording voice clips for the first episode. Cloudy was originally going to be female. Her VA is Michael, and well, turns out the output was unexpected, and the character setting was altered. The same thing goes for Nelly, who's voiced by Catherine Sun. She has a strong feminine voice, and that resulted in changing Nelly's gender from the original male to female. So this theory is solid, though balancing out genders for all 64 contestants? Let's not think of that. Okay, let's see what BFDI has to offer. I decided to separate the main discussion by types of misgendering: looks, voice, and out of binary. In BFDI, misgendering happens pretty much everywhere, whether that be within comments, fan arguments, or on a social platform. It happens commonly, excluding within episodes. First, let's take a look, literally. Here's one character from Battle for BFDI, Cake. Do you believe that Cake is a male or female? What made you think that Cake is either of the two genders? Answer check. Cake is called by he/him pronouns, and he is a male contestant. Well, the blush on his face makes some people think the Cake is a female. Others call him fanboy, a girl-like boy, for the same reason. The likely most confusing would be Pi. Do you see anything that indicates the uniqueness of Pi gender-wise? No. And what is her gender? Female. This is a perfect example of why you should not judge a person by their looks. In fact, this is dominant in the BFDI franchise. Leafy and her evil counterpart, Evil Leafy, are commonly thought to be male, and this is wrong. Next, you will have a hearing test to check if you know who is speaking.
See, I knew we were fine. I hope you enjoy your stupid your life.
Did you make guesses? Well, the first voice clip was Pencil, and the second was Fiery. Both are voiced by Michael Huang, one of the creators of BFDI. Did you know these two sometimes share their screams?
It's dangerous. Ah! Oh, hey, Fiery. Ruby, no, you...
Michael voices a lot of characters. Fiery is male, whereas Pencil is female. And so are all of Pencil's alliances. Well, the main members, anyway. Pencil hates boys, by the way. Now, try these.
What do you think that cloud looks like? I think the cloud looks like...
Make your guesses, because I will show both answers at once. In 3, 2, 1, boom. The first one to speak was golf ball, followed by tennis ball, as they argued. This pair ought to be the most confusing. Voice is likely the most important factor when judging a character's gender, or a person in general. Trust me, I had mistaken quite a few in the past, like Leafy on a vote I cast on BFB too. The aforementioned pie is also very confusing voice-wise as well. Take a listen.
First, I hit up the grocery store. I pick up some saltine crackers usually, a bit of cheese, oh, and some food for my lizard. Getting low on that.
Before ending this section, here's one more character. One who does not speak at all. Teardrop. She's very well misgendered, and people often complain that she never speaks, and there's no way to determine her gender. There are several if scenario videos of her speaking, and I remember watching a fan-made extension of BFDI 25 when she speaks out of the blue. Where did the original video go? Now, let's dig through the complex out-of-binary subtopic. LGBT plus genders. Remember at the beginning of the video, I explained that genders may not match pronouns? Well, this is why. Neutral genders. If you thought there were only 2 genders, well yes, but actually, no. There are dozens. Okay, let me show you a clip from BFB 10. In this episode, 4 lets one eliminated contestant in the exit to rejoin the game via viewer voting. Jumping to the part where some eliminated people enter the classroom. Pencil, who's already present in this place, is disgusted with all the new ones being boys. Leafy welcomes them, and 4, who appears at the front of the room after. But in the background, Pencil keeps mocking the new classmates. 4 questions Leafy of the situation. You see, Pencil can be friends with girls, like all of her friends. The Alliance members are. And in contrast, she's generally a jerk towards boys. Then 4 makes this comment.
We don't have that where I'm from.
This is the evidence that 4 and X, the algebrailians from the equation playground, do not have genders. They are genderless. For those of you who are familiar with genders, you may recognize agender or genderfluid, but for simplicity's sake, in this research, genderless is genderless. Now you may wonder, what should genderless people be called? What are their pronouns? Well, do you know that old animation from the Huang twins, X finds out his value? Yeah, the title itself mentions X as he. And this seems to be persistent throughout BFB along with 4. On multiple occasions, 4 and X are referred to as he and they. Note that the term they can be singular, not just plural. The they pronoun is called a neutral pronoun, which can be used for anyone of any gender, singular and plural. This is used for 2 in various scenes of the Power of 2, and I will get to this later. Here's another neutral gender, non-binary. According to pronouns.page, non-binary people are those who consider not to be within the gender binary, aka male and female, and prefer the pronouns they, them. The first known example of a non-binary character is Profile, who appears in BFB 26 as an unofficial contestant. Not much is known about this stranger, other than them constantly insisting that they competed in every prior season, but what is known is their pronoun they. The second and third examples are Price Tag and Winner. These two debuted in Teapot, and both of their genders are hinted at the first episode. Initially, Tanya was not eligible for the competition, or getting third in voting, and two of the season hosts mentioned
they only got 4,907 votes.
Winner is an interesting one, and this requires a long explanation. As shown in episode 1 by Clock and in episode 10 by themselves, Winner was part of the famous duo who toured around Goiki, partnering with Loser, who already debuted in BFB. But there is a key difference to these duos. Loser is a huge attention seeker who aims to appear in shows, movies, or even bigger stages, whereas Winner just wanted to support him and be together with Loser. They wanted to be solely background character or a side character, and wow, one day Loser rejected them, forgotten about completely. So when Clock, who's a self-proclaimed fan of Loser and Winner, named their team after grouping up, he just suggested the Winners, until Winner refused to have their own name to be part of the team name, hence the form of the S. Up next is transgender. Trans people are those who consider to be the other gender than their assigned sexuality. I myself am transgender, as I am a male, but I just can't accept my own identity straight. And in The Power of Two, there is, even though it is only an inference, not directly spoken nor confirmed. Introducing Katie. Katie is the voice of reason in BFB Team Dial before the split in episode 16. When T-Bot started, she was assigned a role, mental therapist for two. In some episodes, their interactions can be seen on screen, so let's focus on episode 2. The pair's close interaction started from a small topic: why the episode's challenge is 25 minutes long, not 30 minutes, like why 0.416 hours instead of exactly half. The next time they are focused, they now have a sofa and table and bring up some personal topics. In the third shot, we hear that Two is ambiguous about what they are. Despite being algebraian, they hate math. They don't necessarily get something from doing math. Katie responds with how she is identified. She likes being a periwinkle and girl, and she chose that by herself. Did you get that? She chose to be a girl by herself. This talk not only implies that Two is genderless and would possibly dislike binary pronouns, but also Katie was previously a male. He opted to transition the gender. Katie and Two are what I believe to be the only two who discusses gender problems in the entire series. They continue to have friendly discussions in later episodes as well. In episode 8, for instance, when Two is unsure of Winner's blame.
Winner got around to reviving us, and we revived Robot Flower, hoping she'd be back to normal. And? Okay, and I'm leaving.
Next, we have gay and lesbian. These are not major in the series, but I will explain anyway. Simplify the explanation on pronouns.page. Gay is a person, typically a man, attracted to another one of the same gender. In cases with women or some non-binary, lesbian may be their gender. Let's talk about this for a bit. Tennis ball. No, he's not gay. He goes along with Goalball, who's female. Barely does he interact with boys for a long time. Maybe just Pen. Lollipop. Okay, Lolly is female, and she may be lesbian. In BFB 20, she straight up said this.
Care to give me some air? No straw needed.
Lolly!
Yeah, that is sus. There is one last thing I must discuss before moving on to the analysis. Simp. Is this the same as ship? No. Cambridge Dictionary defines it as a person who is silly or not intelligent, someone who tries too hard to do what another person wants, and especially in a romantic relationship, someone who likes and admires someone, especially a famous person, very much. I saw a few comments regarding this, so I want to clarify this. Tennis ball and golf ball. I would say TB is a simp towards GB. They don't ship, but in BFDI involving Eurolight and Sam episodes of Teapot, these two often abandon the challenge, and they are up to no good. Besides, GB did say she likes TB in a platonic way. Cake and loser. This might be an awkward one, but I don't think KK is a simp. If he was, then why does he constantly forget about loser, especially in Teapot? Although that might be because of the poor writing. In fact, when loser was eliminated, he said this.
He's gone for a reason.
That is so out of character. I agree with Flower on this one.
Hater!
All in all, he's only a fan of loser. Coiny. What the fluff? His relationship with Fiery keeps getting better episode by episode. Unbelievable. But if you ship them, well, I guess you consider any two men together as gay couples. Also, Courtney pairs up with Penn and Woolbunch, and they're close friends from BFB onwards. Penn cares a lot about him, to the point that she cannot do anything without his support. Forget loser, Courtney is a simp, or it's the other way around. He's gone through so much. Oh. Alright, all the explanation is done. It is time to review who is commonly misgendered. Now, I could write the scripts to search for pronouns in all comments, but I have to check the context and who's misgendered, so I only went through 500 comments of each BFDI episode. Here are some disclaimers and things to note. 1. Side characters like the failed Teapot impudents are not looked upon, as there's barely any information available regarding them. 2. Joke episode 2255555 BFDI 5B or short animations does not count. 3. Past tense misgendering doesn't count, such as I thought someone was female. 4. Comments using they, a neutral pronoun, whereas in he or she expression is dismissed. Typo is also excluded. 5. For the algebrailians, 4 and X are referred to as he, they, while 2 is they, them only. Anything else will count. And for Whitmer and Priceegg, comments misgendering them are only counted beyond BFB 28 and Teapot 1. Overall, the total number of misgendering was 213. There are a total of 80 episodes, so if there were 500 comments each, then we get an estimate of 0.5325%. So for every 200 comments, you might find one. Though please note that this calculation may be inaccurate and is only an average. Out of the 213 comments, 95 were of female contestants, and 50 were male. 29 comments had mistakes with the female character, and 178 were male. There are other labels here, but showing examples is faster, so forget about these for now. This next chart shows the count of misgendering per character and gender. It is quite obvious that the Season 5 characters like 2, Winner, and Haggy have the dominant count of errors. There are also a measly number of mistakes for Profile-y, Leafy, Lollipop, Teardrop, and Free Smarters. Leafy and Evil Leafy combined have 17, while season hosts have 65 in total. Let's examine the comments. What you're looking at is the spreadsheet that I used for this research. It's a Google Sheet. These lines of A, B, C are columns, and 1, 2, 3 are rows. Column A is the creator of the video. B and C are the video name and link. D is the location where someone mistook another's gender, and optionally the reason. F is the name of who is mistaken, and G is the actual gender, with H being the mentioned gender. I is the name of who mentioned with their comment or quote on J. Some of the boxes or cells have notes that appear when hovering over the mouse. The first entry here is from BFDI 1 Part 2, where Eve Tanuki wrote, "Actually it's revealed he isn't." This was on a comment thread about Flower, so this is a goof. There are 15 other goofs like this in Season 1 videos, including one mentioning tennis ball as gay. As I explained earlier, he has no deep relations to being gay. Season 2 only has 10 episodes, 13 including 5C to 5A, yet I found 21 comments with the wrong gender assumption. There was this one comment on BFDI 5A with Evil Levy mentioned with the he pronoun. This error was pointed out by another user when was replied with blame, citing that adding eyelashes would have been helpful. Skipping Season 3, Season 4 BFB had 77 misgendering comments, 18 pre-split and 59 post-split. And guess what? My own vote comment has a goof. I am deeply sorry, Leafy, I don't lower my list level. This is also the first season to include multi-genders, such as X. X is genderless with pronouns he, they, and in both of the two comments, X was apparently female. I mean, I get it. X is a silly one with gardening them. Right after the split, in episode 17's comment section, there was a comment thread about how smooth a portion of the animation was, with the name of the animator revealed to be Ricktoons. Well, Zara ZZZ3 corrected their pronoun. That is wrong. Ricktoons is an Aussie male with the pronouns he, him. This is the first misgendering comment for a non-animated character or a real-life person. The following episode has a rather strange set of entries. Idueng guessed Bubble to be male, X as female, and somehow Ruby as genderless. Judging from its replies, this seems to be real, but I honestly do not understand why it happened. Perhaps they mixed up? Who knows? BFB26 brought up the first mass errors of gendering. Poor Profile, seriously. To be fair, no one in the series ever clearly says who's non-binary, so I get it, but they are called by they them pronouns, so I would have assumed some people got, and sure did. Only some. There were a whopping 16 comments all saying Profile is male, but this is not the worst result yet. You're underestimating how great Teapot is. Season 5. Right off the bat, season debutants, winner and prize tag, the new non-binary contestants were mistaken, but you're only looking at a small portion of the chart. Misgendering comments for 2 were absolutely everywhere. Okay, let's go one by one. For Winner and Taggy, there are clear patterns where Winner is thought to be a grown-up man and Taggy is a joyful girl. I had to listen to their voices multiple times to finally understand why. Sorta.
Winner joins the game! Here's your purple tomato.
Thanks.
With the
Tasty.
third placer instead. Taggy, welcome to the power of 2.
Oh yeah, I take back all the things I said about Winter while I was down there.
In nearly every episode's comments, there were people assuming 2 goes by he, him. Some still believe 2 accepts binary pronouns, and yeah, I'm not surprised. This is a family-friendly show, and the other Algebraian hosts for an X both can be referred to as he. There even was this comment by Grangus Gaming under a dead talking about Winner. where they said that Two has been mentioned as he, with the reasoning for Winner's gender anyway, being that their voice actor is male. Two is always used they them pronouns in Teapot. Besides, Winner's VA, Shazer, is a Kiwi non-binary who goes with they them pronouns. Though if the commenter isn't meant Zany leaves, then Meow is male, so whoops. There are also comments talking about Bombi as female, and that was further questionable for me. Is it just me? Also, there's yet another non-animated character misgendering, this time being Satomi. Now, these were only canonical episodes. What about the other fan-made videos? I will go through this section of the chart per character. Lollipop. There is an official BFB music visualizer for her released by Michael on the song Sweeper. There were two mentioning Lolly as a boy. Winner. These two come from the Smash or Pass stream, and I don't want to talk about this latter female depiction. The third one was found on the Small Chief's fan animation of Winner having extra arms in Teapot 8. Winner drying himself off was perfection. Sobbing emoji. Yeah, you need to dry off your tears first and correct their pronoun. Cake. The first one is a BFB music visualizer for Laito. I did find two people saying Cake is male, originally. The second is the stream that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, BFDI Smash or Pass. Albeit this chat message is rather sauce. Here are some debatable and not really misgendering entries. Its pronoun. I personally do not take this as a pronoun, and the characters are objects, so I guess it is valid? I didn't count this in. Flower is non-binary. This is too scientific for me to understand. Pass. Pen in BFDI 11.
I'd say Rocky, because golf ball sounds like a boy, even though she's a girl. That's just wrong.
Even Carrie admitted Pen is a sexist. This also seems to have surprised so many people with the fact that golf ball is a girl. Using the word guy on a female person now. I reckon not many people know the word gal exists. In Japan, this word is somewhat used, though in other countries, maybe not. In BFDI 3, Match slaps and pops bubble word, and in the comment on BFB 7, this person wrote, "Fatty is a mean guy." I decided not to include this because guy seems to be a gender-free expression right now, but I still think people is better. Now, before you shout, "Hey, this photo must be way more against the wrong gender," I'm sorry, I could have searched for more, but searching 500 comments took an hour, and I didn't want to lessen the work time by searching even more. So, based on the comments I received on the early short version of the video, here are some pickups that I'm still curious about. Cake and Fanny. The former had one, and the latter just was not found. These two are some of the most confusing characters, mostly during BFB, and I'm flabbergasted that I could not find a lot of their misgendered comments. Especially Cake. Saw, she was wrong in BFB 13, 15, and Teapot 3. I must agree with this person. She was annoying. That 8 curse was just a nuisance. Fries. Excuse me? Teardrop as gender fluid. This could be a valid headcanon, considering how many teardrops exist in the world, though the one and only Teardrop is female. That will not change, no matter how she would alter herself. Now for the honorable mentions. Some of these are related to the topic of this video, but oh well, this is for comedic purposes. throughout the video, I talked about gender issues in BFDI. Although, if you are a fan of object shows, clearly you might think of a better show that fits this topic. Inanimate Insanity. It is very clear that this series by Animation Epic goes deep into genders. There's Lightbulb who transitioned their genders, and there's Paintbrush who has only Lightbulb calling by the correct pronoun, they. Well, here's my defense. It's too deep into detail for me to cover at the moment. And oh heck, this goes so deep into lore. Countless interactions with each character are keys to the decision of their genders. Besides, I've always seen the episodes before the reboot years ago, so I know nothing about any events post Season 2. Season 3 has ended, so I need to catch up with it. And for other shows, well, if you want me to take a look at the series, let me know. By the way, I already watched one, don't raise that. One thing is clear about gender problems in BFDI. It is fairly minor. It was finally brought up as a topic for one conversation in Teapot, but that's it. 2 if you count Winner. Taggy's backstory ain't even touched into. Like, come on, it's already episode 10, and finally there's a Taggy focused episode. All I know is that they love cardboard games and being friends with book for the matter, but not why they're genderless. There has to be a reason. Seriously, there are too many arcs in this season. It's so bad plus crammed that the important stories like the challenges don't get into my head. Ugh. I understand that BFDI is not intended to be highly qualified, but all the contexts are supposed to be explained in the series, yet there are still things that are missing to fully comprehend. Unless it will be revealed in future episodes, it is poorly organized. Although I will say, if it wasn't for Satomi and Poke's efforts in early Teapot, this topic would not surface at all, despite that society in real life these days are more considerate towards the concept of multi-genders. Only if the episode did not take half a year to be produced. As much as I hate Teapot, despite kids recognizing the existence of LGBT+, as they can tend to make things extreme, I think it's important to tell people about valuing themselves. Well, I need to tell that to myself. Katie isn't everything. She's simply one primary example of someone who expresses who they really are. What do you think? Would gender be a serious topic in a BFDI episode? Will it succeed or fail? Well, only time will tell. Whatever it is, mistaking someone's gender can happen at any time by anyone. It is inevitable. However, there are ways for people to recognize the uniqueness of a person, or in this case, a character expressing something concerning their gender. By stressing that they are unique, I'm sure that people will remember them and reduce misgendering a person. Thank you so much for watching. I love making charts, and I started this project solely for fun, but it ended up being one large piece of work. Finding misgendering comments may be fun, though for me, I think this is a serious issue. I'm a trans, I do what I want to be. Forcing someone to be one gender is a critical attack, a huge disrespect. But I also don't like to be an extremist, like, they've been together for like 30 seconds, they must be gay. No, I don't want to judge solely from one tiny interaction. Gender is not something to be decided lightly. I acknowledge gender as some sort of a person's status, being that it can be changed and can have multiple at once. Anyway, this topic will continue forever, so I'll cut off right here. If you want to talk with me, then my Discord server is open. Want to know my lifestyle? Check out my Instagram page. As mentioned before, my donation site is preparing for its opening, a Ko-fi store. I'll notify it's open on Discord and Instagram. I'll be uploading more videos in the future, so subscribe to the channel, like the video, and have a great day.